What is going on, people, and welcome back to another main event podcast. I am your co-host, Jonah Pipney, along with my other co-host, Kofi Ohemeng from KO Sports Talk, and we got a lot of things to be talking about today. Number one, of course, DMX passing away. We're going to talk about what he meant to the music industry and also basketball because hip hop and basketball went hand in hand, especially if you know the history of it. Number two, should the Bears draft a quarterback in this year's draft or go with somebody else? Number three, Deshaun Watson. And that saga is still continuing. We got to talk about it today because it's just getting bigger and bigger and messier and messier. Number four, Julian Edelman retiring from the Patriots after his release. Number five, can the Bears ever break that goddamn cycle of never having a good quarterback? Yeah, of course, Jim McMahon was a Pro Bowler that year and they won a Super Bowl. But if you look at his stats was ass and he wouldn't even make the Pro Bowl in no other era other than during that time period. Number six, the Broncos and Seahawks skipping the voluntary workouts. And what does that mean with every other NFL team? Will they decide to do the same thing? And number seven, is the Bulls actually a playoff team? And will it be worth watching in the playoffs? And just jump things off. Of course, we're talking about DMX. And honestly, when I heard about him, having an OD, and then later on they talked about it more and just saying that basically he had a heart attack and all the above, and he was basically brain dead. I knew he was gonna pass, man. The moment I heard about the news about him being in the hospital and it had something to do with drugs, Kofi, I knew it was gonna happen. I didn't want it to happen, of course, but he been going through this for 20 some odd years.
Since he was 14.
Right. Okay, then longer than that. I've known about it for 20 some odd years. That's when I first started hearing about it when I was a kid. I was like 10 or whatever. 10, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9 when I first started hearing about it. And then it got more prevalent back in like '07 when I first started hearing about his drug problems and everything else that was going on with him.
Right.
You know.
Well, definitely, man. Yeah, DMX, or his rapper named Darkman X, or his real name Earl Simmons. He's been dealing with this type of addiction since he was 14 years old. So basically, when he was like 13 or 14, he left his mom's home because his mom was emotionally and physically abusing him when he was young, bringing in boyfriends in and out of the house, and that kind of steered him away. And so, ever since he was 14, he met his mentor who mentored him, and his mentor gave him weed. And unfortunately, the weed was laced with cocaine.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, it was laced with cocaine. And so, ever since then, he's been dealing with that type of addiction, and up until his death. So, just what he's been going through, his addiction. Like he's been trying to go to rehab in and out. He's been fighting through this addiction. He's been on a couple TV shows like that one show called Yana Van Zant, Fix My Life. He was in an episode with him and his son. His son was talking about how he wasn't too much in his life because of the drug addiction, how it's affected him and his family. And yeah, man, like he's had it really hard, growing up. And man, and just for him to go through what he went through, to die of a drug overdose, that kind of bring back flashbacks, with my friend, because I had a friend who was dealing with, who died of a drug overdose. This was, I think, about a year and a half ago. He died in, I think, December 2019. And man, I just even talked to him a week before what was it, a week after, I think, was it a week after Thanksgiving? A week? Yeah. Around, no, a week before Thanksgiving, because he died on the 1st of December. And I was just telling him, man, like, I know what you're going through, man. You can fight through this, because, he was dealing with a drug addiction at that time. He was going to church and everything. And, with DMX, he was a man of God, too.
Yeah.
And, man, like, drugs ain't no joke, man. Like, crack, heroin. My friend, he died of a heroin addiction. And, man, let me tell you, man, it's nothing to play with, bro. Like, seriously, it's nothing to play with. And I really haven't, it really didn't hit me. Like, his death really didn't hit me until DMX died, man. Like, I remember when I was just working, I had some downtime, man, and I just bawled down, like, crying, man. Like, and it just made me broke down and cry, bro. But
I,
yeah.
I get it, man. It's that the type of stuff set off a trigger. It's a trigger effect. People call it triggered.
Yeah.
Certain events set us off at that time. I didn't know DMX full story and all that because I never really tried to get so deep in so many people's lives, especially early on in my life when I was younger. I just whatever you showed me on the outside, I took that at face value. That's what it was. DMX being a rapper, producer, actor, good actor
Right.
at that. That's what I looked at. And then when I heard about the drugs and everything, I was like, damn, man, I hope he get back. I like his music. And that was just it for me. I never, really read really fully in depth and everything. Even what happened now, I still haven't read too fully in depth on what's been going on with that because, that's really not my type of style to be
Right.
always in somebody's business unless it really super intrigues me you know. And the only part of DMX that really intrigued me was, his music really, and his
Right.
acting
Me too. Yeah.
ability. And a lot of that still went to me hand in hand with hip hop because of course a lot of the players is black. They bumping his music, they hooping with it. If you go on the streets back in the early 2000s, niggas bumping his music while the basketball
Like, the
games
guy
going.
literally owned the hip hop industry from '98 to 2002. Like, he literally owned it from around that time.
I'm telling you, he was in everything. Remember,
Everything, man.
he was in
Dude
Romeo
made
Must Die.
movies. He made freaking music. Like,
Yeah,
you ever seen that movie Belly?
yeah. I was gonna say that he was in. I
Yeah,
was
go
gonna say
ahead.
his whole
Sorry,
film. I
man.
was gonna say his whole film career saying Belly. Uh, Romeo Must Die. He was in. Uh,
Romeo Must Die with
Cradle.
Jet Li.
Right. Cradle to the Grave. Half Past Dead. Never Die Alone. And that's not talking.
Cradle to the Grave, Last Hour.
Right. All that shit. Like they got like man, and if it wasn't for the drugs, he would have never stopped being in movies. He would have he would have been what 50 Cent still trying to be to this day is what DMX would have been.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 50 Cent had a few good movies here and there, but when it come down to it, he's an underrated actor when it comes down to it. No matter
Mm-hmm.
what, like he is underrated, but at the level that Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is trying to get at is what Tupac, if he still would have been alive,
Mm-hmm.
and what DMX, if it wasn't for the drugs, would have been at and should have been at.
I think he was up there with Tupac, man. I
It's
think, he's my top 3 rapper of all time. Top 5. Just based off his poetry, and just based off of his how should I say it, like his charisma, man. Like, it's the epitome, of what a lot of people in the hood go through, man. Like, it's not like, because some of these rappers, they pretend like they're from the hood, but like, if you hear this guy talk, like, If you hear him in his rap song, that's exactly how he talks.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly who he is. He's real. He's authentic. He doesn't hide anything. Like he's a down to earth guy. I mean, just everything about him, man. Like, I mean, he was just man. He was the man, dude. Like even what you call like he even had some of these athletes. They played some of his music, like to what was I gonna say? Like Mike Tyson or Anderson Silva. They used his music, every time like they're about to do like a ring fight. They would use his music. Like some like these basketball players have some of his lyrics tattooed on their body. Like this guy had an influence not just on the hip hop community, but like all around the world. Like people in Russia, wear baggy pants because of DMX, because of Rough Riders, the Rough Riders
Yeah, the
team.
influence. The
Right.
influence
He
of
had an
them.
influence not just on the U.S. but around the world. Like people in Russia, like I'm telling you, people in East Europe, like began wearing baggy pants, these tank tops because of DMX.
And still rocking that same gear still to this day.
Still rocking the same stuff.
Yeah. He made a huge impact on a lot of people's lives. You
Yeah,
know.
especially mine, dude. Like, growing up too, man. Like, I was a pretty shy kid, but like when growing up, me and my brother used to bump DMX a lot, especially one of his albums. One of my favorite albums is Dark and Hella Hot in here, and then there was X. We used to play What's My Name, Party Up in here, of course, Rough Riders. That's one of the most
X,
famous
man,
ones. But
X
like,
was one of them songs, so we couldn't stop playing that. And Ain't No
you couldn't stop
Sunshine.
it, man. Rough Riders anthem, especially, man.
Yeah, Ain't No Sunshine. I used to love playing the hell out of that too,
hmm
man. Yeah, man,
Like
he
it's
gonna be
and
missed,
where these bitches want all that. Yeah,
man. That's crazy. Like, it still hasn't really like I don't know. It's like I see so much. It's been so much death over the past year, more than usual, to a point that I don't know. I'm kind of like damn near numb to it. Like I was surprised that I didn't feel no type of way even when Rocky Johnson passed away.
right.
All that stuff. I'm like, it's starting to. It's damn near. It's sad that it's starting to get normalized.
Yeah,
You
Kobe
know,
Bryant dying.
right,
The Black Panther guy, Chadwick Boseman.
right. Everybody just been dropping,
Yeah, dropping like flies, man.
and it's weird to see, man. It's weird to be like, man. If you, especially when you still alive, just keep witnessing it. Like, damn, no breaks, huh? No damn breaks. But it's enough of that, man. Before we start getting dark on this
Yeah, I
podcast,
know,
man.
right? Before it starts getting really dark and gloom,
Right,
doom and gloom up in here.
right. People are listening, like, God damn, man, making me feel
You
some
got to
type of
keep the
way.
energy positive. Keep it
Right.
positive.
But yeah, moving on to the podcast, man. Number
Mm-hmm.
2 is, should the Bears draft a quarterback in this draft? Should they trade now, or should they wait until number 20 to draft a quarterback, or should they even draft a quarterback at all in this draft and just go with Andy Dalton and Nick Foles this season? I'm gonna leave that up to you to lead this off, Kofi. What do you think should the Bears do in this draft?
Me personally, I think the Bears should trade up. I know it may sound a lot, or like it may sound a little too much, but listen here. Like this quarterback or this NFL draft or this NFL draft class, this is a talent, top heavy talent worth of quarterbacks. I mean, you have Trey Lance, you have Trevor Lawrence, you have Kyle Trask. I mean, a whole litany of quarterbacks, who are performed at a high level at the college level, and I think the Bears, man, like in my personal opinion, they need to trade up because they can't go into the season with Nick Foles or Andy Dalton in this season because they are not the long-term option at quarterback for this season. I mean, Andy Dalton, he has experience as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Of course, he played with the Cincinnati Bengals his first 4 years. They went to the playoffs. He had a lot of career seasons at Cincinnati. I'll give him that. But the thing is, with Andy Dalton, he's not the long-term option at quarterback. And with his last few seasons in Cincinnati, he's also dealt with some type of injury. And of course, Nick Foles has injury history. So, I mean, going into the season, you can't go into the season with these two guys. You need a franchise quarterback. You need somebody, who can at least sit behind Andy Dalton, or at least find a quarterback who can fit Matt Nagy's system. I mean,
I
if you
don't think
look
you
at
ever gonna find somebody that's gonna fit Nagy's system. To tell you the truth, he
Matt
don't. He
Nagy's
don't
system,
fit. He don't
yeah,
fit his
like
own damn system.
I mean, like if you look at like Justin Fields, man, like I think Justin Fields is a pretty good option. I think in a lot of mock drafts, he's fell down a little bit. I don't know why they did. He fell down, but I guess with his he didn't perform too well
At the
in his
combine. Yeah.
combine, and also of course Mac Jones. A lot of people are really underrating Mac Jones, saying that he's not all that athletic. He's not really mobile. But the thing about him with Mac Jones is that he's very accurate. He goes through his progressions really well, more so than what we had the last few seasons at the quarterback position. I mean, Mitch Trubisky, as much as I really like Trubisky, he didn't really go through his reads properly. He didn't go through his progressions properly. As much as Matt Nagy tried to help him as he could, Mitch Trubisky couldn't do that. And with Mac Jones, he can do that. And also the same thing with Justin Fields. Justin Fields, he's very accurate. Of course, he's extremely mobile. He can move. I mean, if you saw him in Ohio State, I've watched a lot of Ohio State games, because I'm an Ohio State fan. The guy is extremely accurate. It's just the only thing with him is that at times when he goes through his reads, it's kind of very slow. So he kind of needs to work on going through his reads a little more. And he just also needs to be more careful, with his mobility, because sometimes he can get a little too overzealous with his mobility. Like when they were facing Indiana, like there are times where he didn't know when to throw the ball or when to run, and so he kind of needs to make better football decisions. Sometimes with his football decision making, it can be a little shaky. But other than that, I mean, he's a pretty solid quarterback. A lot of people say that, a lot of Ohio State quarterbacks are not that good. Well, look at
Which is true.
what Dwayne Haskins, look at Braxton Miller, all these Ohio State quarterbacks. So I think he's different. I think this guy's a winner because, against Clemson, man, like this one guy hit him really hard, and he came back from that, and then they beat Clemson. It just shows you what type of quarterback he is. I think he's tough. I think a lot of people underrate him, but yeah, that's kind of my take on that for now.
Well, I'm just gonna clarify what you said earlier. Now, you said that there is plenty of basically rich talent at quarterback this in this specific draft. So if it is that much talent at the quarterback position, why wouldn't the Bears wait then until number 20 to draft a quarterback? On that note, now, Justin Fields, I've watched some tape on him. He did look pretty good, but at the same time, he is on a overpowered Ohio State team that was already overpowered before he got there. Now, when he did go against very good competition in the championship game, we saw exactly what happened. And Alabama is the closest thing you get to an NFL team in terms of
That was because
defense.
their defense. The
That's what I'm
offense
saying.
was
In
good.
terms of
The
defense,
defense was terrible.
that's what I said in terms of that. Usually, now they destroyed the shit out of him, and that's one of the things that to me is the knock on him. That when it came down to a team that was just as good as him, like the defense is just good enough to not only keep him in order but to shut him down. He wasn't able to adjust, and you just mentioned one of the other knocks I was gonna say, his decision making skills. Now, Dwayne Haskins had terrible decision making skills. That's the reason why he is no longer in the NFL and probably will never be back in the NFL.
No.
Justin Fields can still fall under that same thing if he does not improve that right away. Matt Jones under the same stipulations, you know. Now, like I said, Matt Jones, he would a powerhouse team that was a powerhouse before he got there. So those two guys is gonna look good, especially in the conference that they playing in. Who really can challenge Ohio State in their conference? No damn body. Who can really challenge Alabama in their conference?
Nobody.
Maybe Auburn every blue moon. No, other than that, nobody.
Or LSU. Other
Right,
than that, no.
right. So that's what I'm saying. They got easy schedules overall. So that's all I'm saying. When these guys get to the NFL, you like you said, you think that Matt Jones can do something that Mitchell Trubisky couldn't, but we won't know until that first game that they play,
Right.
or that first complete. I would say first complete season or two they play. Maybe I say 3 seasons that they play, and we see the progression. Because remember, if you still because your progression is going to happen with your own cadence and along with the coaching staff that you have. One of the things we already know what happened with Trubisky, coaching staff fucked him. That's why his career is went like it is, and that's why he in Buffalo now and not still in Chicago. We don't know where these quarterbacks is going right now, but we still have to take into consideration that most guys is these guys can be just as bad as Trubisky or just as good as Trubisky or turn around and be just as good as Deshaun Watson was or Patrick Mahomes was. You know, a lot of people forget that Peyton Manning started off fucked up. Like that man threw like 29 picks in the season. And then now Hall of Famer. So that's all I'm saying. They can wind up having one of them type of careers, or they can turn into Ryan Leaf. But But the thing is, though, with these quarterbacks coming in and with it really pertaining to the Bears, rather they should move down or draft up. I think they should stay at number 20. Honestly, this is what do I think that they should do. If if it's that many quarterbacks as you mentioned, then they should stay at number 20. Wait and see who is left on the board because I know minimum every season is always at least 7, 8 teams that need a quarterback. But usually 9 times out of 10, 6 of those teams draft a quarterback and the rest of them get somebody else. And then there's usually 1 or 2 quarterbacks
Day two.
right left on the board, and then you're able to get them. So that's what I'm saying. That's what could possibly happen. Now, I know Justin Fields is not going to be left. Matt Jones ain't going to be left. You know, it might be a few other guys that might be left that's below them.
What do you think about Kyle Trask, though? Kyle Trask.
I didn't really watch too much tape on him. Is that the one from BYU?
No, he's Zach Wilson. I'm talking about the one from Florida.
Don't know too much about him, but I know he won me some games when I when I betted on college football. I betted on Florida just because I remembered that Florida was good. Like I'm thinking back when Tim Tebow, Tim, like I was like I remember when Florida used to be good. They might be good this year. Boy,
Right.
they was smacking people up this year. They got whooped
Yeah.
by Alabama. Who was
Yeah. I think
Alabama or
they're.
who was Alabama or Clemson? One of them smacked them up real
Yeah.
bad. But they won a lot of games. I think they won like 10 or 11 games this year.
Yeah.
But I don't know too much about him. But I know Zach Wilson. I couldn't
Mhm.
remember his name. I
Mhm.
was talking about him from the beginning. Like once he lost to I forgot the name of the goddamn team. Like this team first winning season out of like 15 years and shit, and they smacked up BYU, and everyone was talking about Zach Wilson
Right.
at that time. I was like, hell
He doesn't
no,
face like the competition of like Alabama, like
right?
the level competition of Alabama or
None of
Florida.
that. He faced a team that had their first winning season. I don't know how long, and they smacked
Right.
them up. I mean, beat the hell out of them. Now, the score, of course, was close. It wasn't like
Yeah.
a huge ass whooping. I'm just saying.
He was getting sacked. He was getting
Right,
beat up.
right. He took an ass whooping, and he got the shit beat out of him in
He
that
was missing
game.
players. Yeah.
And that team underperformed horribly, and it was mainly based on the decision making of Zach Wilson. And it
Hmm.
wasn't like that was a huge game. That was just a regular game
Hmm.
against a mediocre team. Yeah, they was undefeated at that
Can
time,
you
but
imagine
they was
if the Jets pick him? It'll be like Sam Darnold.
basically. But I think he'll be slightly better than Sam Darnold,
Hmm.
or if not about the same or worse. I was yeah.
But I
I'm out
think
of
he'll have a good coaching staff because Robert Sala, he's a good coach. It's not like last year when they had freaking Adam Gase. Adam Gase was just god awful. And
yeah,
remember, he was our offensive coordinator with us, freaking Adam Gase.
yeah. But they put up points with Adam. Well, they put up the same amount of points with Adam Gase than they did with
Yeah,
motherfucking
but I didn't like
Mark
Adam Gase. He
Trestman.
was
Shit.
god awful. Ugh,
Yeah, he a terrible head coach.
he's terrible,
Terrible head coach. Good offensive coordinator. Terrible head
terrible
coach.
head coach. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
up next, man, let's move on. Since that we both know what basically what we think what should happen. But up next is the Deshaun Watson saga, and it's continuing, and the
Mm-hmm.
women just continuing to grow. Now, I did see this one story with this one woman. She said that she left, like basically she left to go do something. When she came back, the man was naked, but face down in the massage, ready to get massaged with a towel over him. Now, no matter of fact, I don't even think he even had a towel over him. She said that she felt terrified and all this extra shit but she still felt compelled to go on autopilot
Mm-hmm.
and still massage him.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Right? I'm like, what type of what?
And all this after he wants to leave the team.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I hear everybody bringing that up. I wasn't even finna bring that shit up yet. Like it's crazy as it sounds. I can see part of the logic in it. Like, yeah, like nigga, we had all these white women come out and say that you did it, nigga.
Right.
The fuck you talking about? And you black nigga, you done for. Now I can see some shit
Done.
like so on a goddamn real high conspiracy level type of shit happening. Now on the other hand of the spectrum, this nigga could really just be, Donald Trump and bitches out here like, hey, come here, my name Deshaun Watson. Just
Right.
grabbing bitches. Matter of fact, you ever seen this motherfucking show that be on YouTube? It's called How It Should Have Ended.
No, I haven't seen
You
it.
should see
What
that
about it?
shit. Boy, it's funny as hell. Got Batman on there. acting the goddamn fool with Superman all the time, talking about he tell all the bitches his secret. My name Bruce Wayne. That's a Sean Watson walking up on bitches grabbing pussies. Like, yeah, I'm Deshaun Watson and I play for the Houston Texans. He could be out there doing shit like that, just straight up twacking in them streets. You know, that could be that.
Funny.
Right, that's all I'm saying. He could be doing some shit like that. Or it can
Hell
just
yeah.
be or it can just simply be that, you know, a few bitches just did, like he just made a few bitches uncomfortable, but they didn't say nothing. Like they didn't tell him like, "Hey, you making me uncomfortable." They just didn't say nothing and went ahead and continued to and just went ahead and massaged the nigga, got paid. He think everything cool because they ain't saying shit the whole time. That they feel some type of way, but ain't said a motherfucking word. And he like, what the fuck? And then one of them, I guess, he got a text from one of them talking about they made like, yeah, you made me uncomfortable, and he apologized to him. Like, oh, my bad, you know, I ain't mean it like that, and woo woo woo. You know, so that it's shit coming out. But either way, regardless of the fact of that shit, simple fact that it's 20 plus women saying
that's crazy, man.
right,
That's
like
really crazy. 20 plus women
right.
out of nowhere.
I know. It sounds crazy as hell, but either way, whether they telling the truth or not, like, ain't nobody gonna want that nigga but the Texans if they even decide to keep him.
Right, man. This is a whole messy
Matter of fact,
situation.
this shit worse than Vic. And you know, white people love their dogs. They love their animals, boy.
People love dogs, yeah.
No, boy, motherfucker still writing that nigga hate mail still to this day.
That's crazy.
On life, boy, like on everything. So I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's just real bad for him.
It's really bad for Deshaun Watson right now.
Right, like
I think, you know, with everything going on, with his especially with his endorsements, they suspended his endorsements as well. But the thing about with these women that I find so fishy about is that why did they come for all this time while they could have just said it, you know, earlier on? Like they could have just told the authorities about earlier on, or you know, if my thing is that some of these women, they're in it for the money because they look at like a celebrity or an athlete and they say, oh man, they got money. If they say
definitely
any one word wrong to me or say something smart, you know, I might get money out of it. I mean, personally, I don't think he really did anything to them, like any type of sexual assault. But you know, I really think that these women are in it for the money because this is after he wants to leave the team. Like, come on, like really?
No, man. It's I don't know. It's like honestly, I think it's all a bunch of bullshit. Now I don't fully,
but do it to a brother, man. Like, come on, man.
Now I don't fully believe about the team just set that nigga up like that, just keep him to stay in Houston. But at the same time, I still gotta look at it on the flip side like this. Like I said before, this nigga could just be out there announcing his name, saying I'm the quarterback of the Houston Texans. Look that shit up. I'm a multimillionaire and grabbing bitches' asses and shit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, not giving a fuck. You know, that's all I can say about it. Like it can be flipped either way, but I'm leaning more towards it's not as bad as what the fuck they saying it is. Like on everything. Like I feel like he probably grabbed at least one bitch ass just because he thought he could. But I know for a fact he ain't just up on some predatory borderline like bitch. If he was
like Bill Cosby did.
Nah, I'm not even, man. Bill Cosby, all them bitches was willingly popping them pills with that nigga. That was the 60s and 70s. Everybody was taking drugs.
Popping mollies in the 70s.
Right, I don't give a shit about what nobody talking about. Bill Cosby don't even count. I'm talking about like that. It ain't like that nigga was like on some motherfucking Epstein or Weinstein type of shit.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm just saying, like, that shit can be rough. That's all
Yeah, real rough.
I can
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
But moving on from that nigga tragedy. Shit, Julian Edelman retires after 12 years in the NFL and getting
Yes,
three rings with the Patriots. Hmm.
Ju-
I didn't
Julian
even
Edelman.
I didn't even know that he had over 10,000 yards receiving.
Yeah,
None of that shit. I ain't know. I didn't realize that he was really like that good. Like I
I
didn't.
mean, if you're with if you're in Bill Belichick's system, be made. You're gonna be made to look good.
Well, unless you Tom Brady, shit,
Yeah.
because
Julian Edelman, yeah, he's other than that, he's a really good receiver, man. He was there was something about Julian Edelman, like at times, like he used to run like a really good routes, like especially like some of those post routes, like those low post routes, those low ones and those
oh,
top
okay,
ones, like
okay.
he
You
was
talking
so
about
good
skinny?
at
You
it.
talking about skinny post routes?
Yeah, those skinny post routes, yeah.
Okay, so because 12 years in the league, that mean he was there when Wes Welker was still that in.
Oh yeah, yep.
So that mean what? He was the third receiver. He was switching in and out with Welker in the slot.
He came in 2009. Yeah.
Yeah, Welker was in prime time then. Welker was just
And I
just
still remember
jumped.
that '07 season too with Welker
Yeah,
and
cause he just came out of fucking nowhere. Cause Welker wasn't even shit when he was in Miami.
no, he wasn't.
And
But he was
then
a freaking dog in New England, man. Like once he left New England,
that
it's
was
like man, like his career went down the drain. Same with Amendola.
yes. Well, Amendola couldn't stay healthy anyway. But
Well,
anyways,
he couldn't.
let's get back to Edelman.
Yeah, Edelman. But
Cause
yeah, Edelman. Like I mean, he was really underrated as a receiver. Like the guy, man, he had a dog mentality. I mean, if you see him on the field, sometimes like you see him pumping up his teammates, or he'll be in DB's faces like, "Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna burn you. I'm gonna freaking burn you on this route, and I'm gonna make you look stupid." And I'll see him, and you do the exact same thing, like what he said to those DBs, and you'll make them look silly.
yeah, also because he did make a lot of underrated catches, especially in the Super Bowl, especially the one
Mm-hmm.
against the Falcons.
Yep, the Falcons. Yeah, the Falcons Super Bowl game. He made some really clutch catches.
Especially that one when all of them tackled his ass and all you see is his hands in the football holding it up. I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm. The guy was a tough son of a gun, man.
that's some Madden
Tough
shit,
SOB, man.
straight Madden.
The guy was a tough SOB.
Hell no, but I really don't know too much about Edelman. I'm not a Patriots fan. I just know
Yeah, me neither.
I just so happened just to read about him a little bit more. The few games that the Patriots played the Bears when he was with them and shit, and the
Yeah,
Patriots smacked up the fucking Bears.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know, smacked them up. So it was like I just seen him a few times when he burnt the Bears, and then I seen him burn a few people in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I just looked over his stats, and I was like, I didn't realize that he was really that productive and really that underrated, and he should have had a lot more Pro Bowls.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep.
He was very, very overlooked as a receiver.
He was super underrated.
You know, maybe because he couldn't jump that high or wasn't as fast as everybody else, but he had good hands. He was reliable. And he made key plays when it mattered, and that's what you call an NFL player. A reliable, consistent player, and that's what he was throughout his entire career, his whole 12 seasons. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I did see somebody post this like a year later he'll be signed with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So I was like, maybe so, shit. So other than that, kudos to Edelman with his terrific career, 12 seasons,
Future Hall
10,000
of
yards
Famer.
receiving. Yeah, possibly a Hall of Fame, but got 3 rings. I don't know if he gonna get in. If he do, it's gonna be years
He
down the
get it.
line. It's gonna be years down the
Definitely get
line. When you're old ass man, that's when he gonna get in.
it.
You
Sooner
know,
or later, but he'll get it.
right? Because I'm like, it ain't like he had like 15,000, 18,000 receiving yards, and they got 10. You know, it's a lot of receivers that's
I
not in
mean,
the
he's
Hall of
not like an
Fame.
all-time great, but he did enough in his career to warrant him to be some type of Hall of Fame
Yeah, because of
wide receiver.
the 3 Super Bowls will help him. That's what it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
But now moving on to subject number 5. Can the Chicago Bears ever break out of that crazy ass cycle of never having a franchise quarterback? Can they? I don't know.
That's really hard for me to answer that question. I'll
Right,
start that
like
with you, buddy.
right, like I'm about to just start it off with the honest thing. I really don't know because honestly, like they wasn't it Sid Luckman, his fucking name. He
Yeah, Sid Luckman.
he really wasn't that damn good. To tell you the truth, and some Bear fans may
Back then
get
he was. Back then he was.
right. Like back then, even to me back then, he was like average. Back then,
Yeah.
he was average. You know, he had a few good seasons, and then he fell the fuck off. I looked at his stat line a few years ago. I was like, he wasn't even that damn good. What the fuck they talking about? I guess. I'm like, I guess. So that's why I'm like, the Bears historically has never had a good quarterback. It's always been good running backs, okay receivers, dominant defense.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you know, every blue moon have a receiver that have a few 1,000-yard seasons. You know, Marcus Robinson only had one, 80 catches. Yeah, I think he had 80 catches, 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns. Marty Booker, 2 1,000-yard seasons. Then after that, you don't hit nobody else until Brandon Marshall. You know, Johnny Knox got close.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Right, then, yeah, Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, then now Allen Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You know, can you name a 1,000-yard receiver before that? I can't. I can't. If I'm pretty sure it's there,
Yeah.
but you know, historically, it's been Hall of Fame running backs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Hall of Fame offensive lineman, Hall of Fame defensive lineman.
Hall of Fame defense, yeah.
Right. That's it. You know, so I don't know if it's ever gonna happen. I'm pretty sure it will. Honestly, I'm pretty sure it will eventually. I don't know if it's gonna happen in our goddamn lifetime. If it do, we probably gonna have goddamn Alzheimer's talking about. I remember back in 2006 when the Bears went to the Super Bowl. It's 2009, 2086 now. Shit,
Mm-hmm.
can't even focus on
2050 or whatever,
right,
2060.
right. Can't even focus on the goddamn game no more. That's all I'm saying.
Remember in 2018 we were very dominant, and
Right.
then we lost freaking Nick Foles.
Right. Then we had the bright idea to bring him back. I'm just saying. So I'm just saying, like, when that happens, it probably gonna wind up happening when we probably older, you know, or
hopefully sooner rather than later.
Right,
I hope not.
right. That's what we hoping. We've been hoping and praying for that shit. Like it's Bear fans since in their 90s. Like I've been hoping and praying since 1935. Like I'm just saying. So this that might be us. Still hoping and fucking. The Bears been around 100.
Still in its infancy.
Man, the Bears been around for 102 years, 101, 102 years, and still ain't had a franchise quarterback. So
that's so sad. And like we're the only franchise to have a quarterback not throw for over 4,000 yards. That's crazy.
That's all I'm saying. That might not. It still might not happen. Our franchise quarterback might max out at 3,900. Never throw 4,000.
Right,
That's
we're
all
just
I'm
the first
saying.
franchise, man, in terms of quarterback position.
So this why I'm like, I don't know. I don't motherfucking know. Because the Bears been around for 102 years, still ain't had one. It might be
That is
another.
so sad.
It
We
might be
haven't had a
another
quarterback throw
100.
for over 4,000 yards and over 30 touchdowns.
That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Cutler, what? The most touchdowns he threw was what, 27? As a
Like
Bear?
26, 27.
Right. And then but he threw 26 picks. That was his first year.
Mm-hmm.
So this and then didn't get close to that since. I think the most he threw after that was what, 26, 25? Got hurt. That's all I'm saying. So this is why I'm like, it may never happen. With
And
the
he was
Bears,
our best quarterback that we've ever had,
yes,
statistically speaking.
right. Statistically speaking, I couldn't get the goddamn word out for shit.
Mm-hmm.
But all I'm saying is, man, it could be 100 more. Hopefully it's over the next year or two. You know,
That's
but
only if we tank hard.
if not tank hard, you know, the right quarterback is available, or miraculously Andy Dalton prove us wrong, and he turned this bitch into the Cincinnati his first 4 years all over again. But
Turns
this
into
time,
the red rifle.
right, but this time he actually win playoff games. He not 0-4 in the playoffs. That's all I'm
Right.
saying.
He looked like freaking Joe Montana in the playoffs.
Right. So that's all I'm saying. That could possibly happen. And then after that, you know, I can be eating crow and be loving it and shit. Like, yeah, I was wrong. I was wrong. Yeah, go Bears Super Bowl. But, you know.
But you know what? That can also be a curse because think about it. Freaking Ted Phillips gets to keep his job, and Ryan Pace, he gets another year. And I don't trust Ryan Pace to pick another quarterback.
Yeah, but Ryan Pace has picked so many other good positions other than quarterbacks, and he is excellent in picking late draft picks.
Yeah.
Hey, matter of fact, I'm not even mad at Ryan Pace. Ain't nobody been good at picking a damn quarterback for the Bears.
No, not really, right? Yeah.
Ain't no damn body
not
been.
Phil Emery, not freaking the McCaskies.
We shall not bring up his name. That nigga let Urlacher leave, and then we seen what happened when he was gone the next year. The whole defense fell apart. So I don't even want to bring up that goofy ass nigga. Fire Lovey Smith. Don't even that nigga a bitch. Like that nigga need to go to jail right now. He is part of the cause of the reason why the Bears have been so bad in the 2010s.
Right. Fuck? Freaking firing Lovey Smith. Freaking idiot.
After a 10-6 season.
Total freaking idiot. Freaking idiot.
That's all I'm saying, but
yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any cue points on what you want to speak on? Like if you think they ever gonna be on a cycle, or do you think?
I just hope it's sooner rather than later. I don't want to be freaking 60, 70 years old contemplating if we're ever gonna get a franchise quarterback.
Boy, I'm just saying. The other people thought the same thing. Like, man, I ain't gonna be 60, 70, boys. 60, 70, they like, whoo, them 30 years went by quick. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. But let's hope.
They started teasing us about the Russell Wilson, and that didn't work out.
I wouldn't get too shits because it's like
us so hard.
I look at it like this. Unless Jordan Love turned into what Aaron Rodgers is, when Aaron Rodgers retired, the Packers is their reign is finally gonna be over. And then they gonna be with the same. They gonna be right back in the same suit that they was back in the 70s
and the 80s,
when they were just getting mollywopped by every damn body. So I'm not worried about that. But yeah, hopefully it's like you said, it's sooner rather than later. But moving on to the subject number 6, the Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks skipping out on the voluntary workouts. Now, of course, it's voluntary. I
Mm-hmm.
already know why they skipped out. You know that they don't want nobody that had COVID that ain't got it right now. Everybody being safe, and they probably most. I haven't read the story. I'm just this is what I'm figuring about it. They're most
Mm-hmm.
likely that they told everybody work out at home, actually work out hard at home, get yourself in shape. Don't work out too hard. Build yourself up slowly, so by the time training camp starts in the summer, everything could be straight. The injuries would be less.
Right, your body can be ready
Right,
to condition,
right. Because guys, that's why so many guys got injured last year. You know, they tried to go from 0 to 100
especially San
real quick.
Francisco.
Right, trying to go from 0 to 100 real quick. It didn't have a training camp. Didn't have a preseason. Didn't have none of that. Just jump season off, and
Right.
everybody toe up their goddamn knees.
Yeah.
So, but I get it. I get it with the voluntary, but with skipping that shit because COVID probably built back up in Colorado and Washington State. It probably went right back up because people not wearing their mask or whatever,
Right.
you
Freaking
know.
idiots not wearing their masks.
Right. And or it could be that some of their staff already got COVID and they just not talking about it. They like, yeah, we gonna skip that
Yeah.
shit before everybody else gets sick. You
Yeah.
know, it can be multiple things. You know, what do you
Right.
think about it, really?
What do I think? I mean, it's good. You know, they're. I think they're just trying to take precaution. You know, especially with this whole COVID-19 protocol. They also want to make sure everything is safe before training camp starts. Um, I just think they want to make sure their players, their staff members, everybody's all right. And yeah, I mean, I didn't really look too much into the whole situation, but you know, since we're still in this pandemic, you know, they want to make sure everything is taken into consideration, taken into precaution.
Yeah, because the numbers seems to be slowly but surely going back up because I guess people believe because oh I got a vaccine, you know, they automatically just square. They don't
Right.
realize once you take the vaccine, you still should gotta sit your ass down for a while because guess what? The vaccine is the goddamn virus.
Exactly. And especially with these vaccines, a lot of them are not. They haven't really been tested like that. They haven't really. They just came out with these vaccines, and so they haven't really been tested like that.
Right.
And also, I also found out that 6 people they got a blood clot. They got like a what was it? Let me see what it was. But I read it on a news article that 6 people developed a blood clotting disorder with the Johnson vaccine just
See?
recently.
And they got a vaccine going on right across from where I live right now, right at the school. So this one I'm like
Right,
people asking me, am I gonna get it tested? And I said I'm gonna wait to see what's going on with everybody else. If I see
right.
everybody else all of a sudden doing what's the name of that goddamn movie? I forgot what it was. I had Mark Wahlberg and everybody out of nowhere just started jumping off the buildings and shit just because they could.
I don't
Whatever the
remember the
hell.
name of the movie, but I think I have an idea what you're talking about.
The happening, shit just like
What's it
that.
called?
The happening. All of a sudden, you take that vaccine and the trees get mad at your ass and just start having everybody go nuts and shit. That took that shit.
Yeah,
I'm good. I'm gonna wait and see what happened with the results. That's
right,
basically what I'm gonna do with that. And this basically probably what like I said is going back to the teams again with Broncos and the Seahawks is most likely what they did. It was like
yeah,
it's a lot of shit going on right now. People getting vaccinated, not everybody vaccinated,
right.
which could be the simplest thing. Not everybody vaccinated. Some people vaccinated because they like it's the right thing to do, and some people like shit. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna wait and see what's gonna happen with your ass.
And
Basically,
they just take every word that the doctor says without the symptoms. there's certain stuff, there are certain side effects to this.
Yeah, they gonna find
You
out
know,
after what happened to your ass.
the doctors aren't perfect, man. They're not God, man. They can't help you out with everything,
That's why
man.
I said they
They're
gonna
imperfect
find.
too, so you got to be careful. You got to take everything to consideration.
That's why I said they gon' the doctors gonna know the side effects. They're gonna know what happened to your ass. Oh, okay, blurry vision. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Uh,
Headaches,
bleeding. Oh, he bleed from his ass.
nausea, yup.
Ain't no bleeding. Oh, okay. Yeah, nausea. Yeah, they gon' That's how they gonna know the side effects once they get the results from their ass.
Mm-hmm.
Then I see what's gonna happen, and then I probably take that shit. I'll probably wait until the end and then take it.
Yeah.
Once they and straighten it all out, and everybody else and got all fucked up and shit. Shit, but the last subject before the podcast ends, and that is the Chicago Bulls a playoff team? And will they even be worth watching their games, or would it just be worth watching their ass get blown out and then not really caring, just watching basketball? What do you think about it? Are they a playoff team, and should they be worth watching?
I mean, right now, we're not really a good team, to be honest with you. I think we're going to be in the play-in tournament. We have a shot to be in the play-in tournament because, you know, the NBA, they implemented the play-in tournament from 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I think the Bulls are still in the running for that. It's just the only thing is just this Bulls team is so inconsistent. I mean, from offense, defense, inconsistency all around the table. I mean, like, really the only two offensive powerhouses on this team is Nikolai Vucevic and Zach LaVine. Other guys, I mean, Kobe White, I mean, he can get hot, you know, in a hot second, but it's just most of the time when I see him playing, like on the basketball court, it's like he tries to do too much. Like he
Hero
sometimes
ball.
just tries to shoot the ball a little too much. He doesn't pass to his teammates.
Hero ball.
Go ahead.
This is what he doing. Hero ball.
Exactly, hero ball. Playing hero ball, trying to be Mr. Mr. Hero Ball. I was gonna say Captain
Mr.
Sabo, but not
Everything.
that. Yeah, he was playing too much hero ball, and then you got Lauri Markkanen, who's been a total disappointment. The guy went from a starter to a bench player in a matter of
2 seasons.
2 seasons. Like he's just been a disappointment. He can't play no defense. His shot is not all that great. I mean,
it fell off.
And he was thinking about getting an extension too.
It fell off.
Exactly, he fell off.
To me,
ahead.
in this system, it doesn't suit him. The system that suited him, but sadly didn't suit everybody else, and that was Fred Hoiberg's system. That's where
Fred Hoiberg's system fit him. Yes, exactly.
That's where he excelled at. That's when he had that 19 points per game his rookie year. I think he had like 16, 17 his second year.
He thrived in that system.
Right. And that's what's going on. To me, it's like he's just not in the right system. If he was, I believe that if he was with the Lakers, he would probably suit that a little bit better because he would probably get the ball a little bit more and be able to do a little bit more of his individual and still be able to stand there, pop and shoot.
Because Frank Vogel, he almost runs the same system as Fred Hoiberg.
Yeah. He runs a similar system to Fred Hoiberg. He just got better star power, and that's basically what it is.
Right.
Spread the ball, pass the ball to everyone, run the pick and roll game, and then feed off of that, and then drive and kick. And then set it in rotation to the open man, knock down the three. Now that's something similar to what Billy Donovan attempting to doing it, but he's doing it more of running into the inside, then driving, kicking around to the corners, to your shooting guard, small forward, your slashers right there, and then send it up to the point guard over the top and have him knock it down, which is what Kobe White is supposed to be doing, but not doing, and too inconsistent. So then they put LaVine at the point guard position, and he's able to knock it down. But to me, honestly, with all the Bulls' struggles this season, to me, it's like they are struggling even more defensively since the trade.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Offensively, they've been a lot better,
Hmm.
as time go along with the team chemistry. But their defense have
Took a huge hit.
tremendously, yes, like a lot of people didn't realize, even me didn't realize how much Wendell Carter really did have an impact with the defense. Like he was getting bullied, of course, and all that. He should have got stronger. That's his goddamn fault not working out in off season properly. Knowing that this goddamn pandemic is going on. But him being there and a few guys that got traded away really did make a huge difference defensively, and we definitely seeing that. You know, uh, shit, I can't even remember his goddamn name. Nikola, how you say it? Say his last name?
Vucevic.
Vucevic. Okay, he's really not that big of a defensive player. He can make some defensive plays, but he's not really a defensive player. His biggest
He's not a
highlight,
defensive minded player.
right? His biggest highlight to me was when he played for the Magic and he slammed on Powell.
Hmm.
You remember that when he slammed on Powell? He slammed on him so goddamn bad. I turned the goddamn game off. So he slammed on him so bad, I was like, "Yep, this game is over." Cut the game off. Went outside and started playing basketball. I was like, "Yeah, this game is over." It was at night. I was like, I'm finna go hoop." That was terrible. That was nasty,
That was a nasty poster.
man. Shit, him and Stacey King and Neil Funk was still together. Stacey King, goddamn fool.
Oh yeah, I know he's a
Boy,
fool.
man, horrible, horrible.
Stacey King, he be making those crazy catchphrases.
Clowned him.
Good night. He got baptized.
Literally,
Crazy like
he definitely got baptized. That man slid all the way back on his ass and everything.
that.
I'm like, damn, pal, come on, pal.
Oh,
He's like,
bro.
come on,
You
Sean
got
Bradley
reborn again.
Jr., Sean Bradley Jr. That should have been his
His
goddamn
life
name.
flashed before his eyes.
Man, he ain't got dunked on by everybody. The only person that got dunked on more than him is Sean Bradley.
Right.
I mean, poked on bad.
Yeah.
Remember he ain't
Sean
got.
Bradley used to get dunked on by everybody. Yeah.
Remember Powell got booty fucked by Blake Griffin multiple times catching putbacks. Catching putback
so
dunks.
Crazy? Blake Griffin's gonna start dunking again right after he leaves Detroit.
Yeah, I know.
Like, dude, get the hell out of here, bro.
That's because he didn't want to play for Detroit, and he was saving.
I don't want to play for Detroit. It's too cold. You get out of here, man.
I just thought he didn't want to play for Detroit because he was like, hold on, they got rid of Drummond, and this team ass. Man, I ain't doing shit.
That's probably why he didn't dunk for 2 years.
Right, didn't do a goddamn thing. He was like, man, I ain't getting hurt. I ain't doing nothing. Can you still dunk? Watch this. Windmill. Bam. Yeah, I can dunk.
Bam, right.
How can you ain't dunking?
Two-handed dunk. As soon as he comes to Brooklyn Nets, windmill. Bam. Two-handed dunk. Bam. Tomahawk. Bam. Dude, come on.
Hey. He feel just like I feel. Fuck Detroit. Shit, fuck Detroit.
Yeah,
Shit.
F. Isaiah Thomas. F.
Right.
Joe Dumars.
Right. Fuck all them. Fuck Detroit version of Dennis Rodman. All that shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But
Isaiah Thomas, we disowned you.
Right. Basically, just because you played for them. But back to the subject with the Bulls. Are they a playoff team? And honestly, I don't even think they should go to the playoffs. I think they should fuck up on purpose and go back to the lottery and get another goddamn lottery pick.
They need a point guard, man. Seriously. Tomas Satoransky is not it, man. Like the
he's a
last 2 games, he hasn't scored a single point.
see
Not a single point last 2 games.
Satoransky would have been a perfect point guard in the 90s, 90s all the way down. Because remember, point guards back then wasn't really meant to score a lot of points. They was really meant to facilitate. That's their original job, is to make sure your other guys get points and guard. Play defense. That's it. Make sure everybody else get points, play defense, and then you probably score 10 points. That's what made Derek Fisher so special, because he was the last of that type of point guard. Like this. I put it like this. You know Kobe gonna get his 30. You know Shaq gonna get his 35. And right, and you know Shaq was gonna get his 35. That's not what hurt you. What hurt you was the fact that the game was tied. Derek Fisher ain't scored all day. Now all of a sudden Derek Fisher put up 10 points in the last 5 minutes. And then you lost by one damn point. That's
Right.
where it hurt. That's what Satoransky is just a simple fact that
But the thing about
he's
this
a
team
worse.
is that they don't know how to close out in fourth quarters. They don't know how to close out. They always get outscored in the fourth quarter. Look at what happened with Memphis. They got outscored 31-16. Look at what happened with Atlanta. They outscored them 33-19. Look at what happened to Minnesota. They outscored them in the fourth quarter. Not only that, along with some BS foul calls that the referees weren't giving them. But other than that, I mean, this team has got to get it together for real.
Well, what I would say to that is, number one, lack of execution in the fourth quarter. It probably could also be a mind thing, because they have also been told that they are not executing in the fourth quarter. So as soon as the fourth quarter hit, it can automatically click in a brain like, oh man, fourth quarter, man, let's hope we can get it right. Let's hope. And then be fucking up. Number two, it can be lack of conditioning. They burnt out because they didn't play so goddamn hard the first 3 quarters to get them in that position in the first place, to a point that, they burnt out already. And also on top of that,
not enough practice together.
Probably that, and on top of that, still going back to my first point, lack of execution. Execution is the key to everything. Coaching affects the game so much in basketball. It's mainly just the execution of the players. That's what it mainly really come down to. And if the players is not executing, when the coach decides to run a few plays, because coaches is really not running plays like that all game. They really allowing the players just to free play based on the chemistry that y'all have played together. And in between, I manage the game, call timeout, sub players out when I see them tired, keep the chemistry going, sub in the right players at the right time to keep the chemistry going, so then we can keep scoring. That's really a coach's job. It's really on the players. So because of the players is not doing what they supposed to do, that's what's going on. And to me, it's more of execution, conditioning, and the last thing is chemistry. They don't have the chemistry because a few of their players that would have kept their chemistry up is gone. And on top of that, now they have a new player that's still working himself with this team, getting himself more familiar with this team, and the team now, because those players are gone, is a lot thinner. The new players they have, you know, still coming down to execution, chemistry, conditioning. They don't know how conditioned that player is with them. It can be a lot of things that can affect the team. So honestly, from my point of view, I just feel like the Bulls should not make the playoffs. Try to get another lottery player.
They should get a point guard, in my opinion. They need a playmaker.
Yeah, and try hard the following season, and that's the time when I guess if they got some money in the off season, go to free agency, try to bring in some more players, because now you have not only Levine, You have Vucevic. Now you have somebody else to attract. You
And you're
get
actually an attractive free agent market.
right, and then if you're able to get at least one more player, and with the players you already have around you, minus Denzel Valentine, I still don't know why he's still there.
And they need to get rid of Felicio. My guy, he's still on the team.
Yeah, because he just stealing money. Even when he started,
Clearly, he's just taking money.
like this man, even when he started, 30 minutes a game, this nigga still only got 5 points, 5 rebounds, and no blocks, and no steals, no nothing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing out there? Just jumping up and down, nigga? Fuck.
He's just a garbage time.
Right. I'm like, what the fuck? You been in garbage mode the whole game, nigga. Like, what's going
The whole
on?
4 years.
Right. So I don't know, man. Other than I'm not mad at him for getting his bread in a performance stance, yeah, that nigga trash. But
Business standpoint, he's trash.
shit, this is all I got to say about that. Though business standpoint, he getting bread. From a player standpoint, that nigga trash, trash as hell. But yeah, man, that is every subject that we have actually went through, and that is going to be the end of our podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you for listening to the entire main event podcast. Once again, with me, Jonah Pipney, and my co-host Kofi Ohemeng from KO Sports Talk. And Kofi, you have anything to say to the people?
Well, I know the NFL draft is going to be coming up very soon. I'm going to see if I can stream it this Thursday or something. So probably stay tuned for that. Any update. I mean, I might stream it, but there's not. Things are kind of up in the air, but that's maybe. But yeah, stay tuned for that and more things to come. But yeah, other than that, yeah.
All right then, people. Peace out and check y'all later, man.